Join us on the NEA Sports Facebook and YouTube pages this Friday night in Trumann as the Walnut Ridge Bobcats travel to Poinsett County to take on the Wildcats of Trumann. With pregame coverage starting at 6:35 with our coaches show and kickoff at 7. It's the Bobcats versus the Wildcats only on the NEA Sports Network. Join us on the NEA Sports Facebook and YouTube pages this Friday night in Trumann as the Walnut Ridge Bobcats travel to Poinsett County to take on the Wildcats of Trumann. With pregame coverage starting at 6:35 with our coaches show and kickoff at 7. It's the Bobcats versus the Wildcats only on the NEA Sports Network. Join us on the NEA Sports Facebook and YouTube pages this Friday night in Trumann as the Walnut Ridge Bobcats travel to Poinsett County to take on the Wildcats of Trumann. With pregame coverage starting at 6:35 with our coaches show and kickoff at 7. It's the Bobcats versus the Wildcats only on the NEA Sports Network. Join us on the NEA Sports Facebook and YouTube pages this Friday night in Trumann as the Walnut Ridge Bobcats travel to Poinsett County to take on the Wildcats of Trumann. With pregame coverage starting at 6:35 with our coaches show and kickoff at 7. It's the Bobcats versus the Wildcats only on the NEA Sports Network. Join us on the NEA Sports Facebook and YouTube pages this Friday night in Trumann as the Walnut Ridge Bobcats travel to Poinsett County to take on the Wildcats of Trumann. With pregame coverage starting at 6:35 with our coaches show and kickoff at 7. It's the Bobcats versus the Wildcats only on the NEA Sports Network. Join us on the NEA Sports Facebook and YouTube pages this Friday night in Trumann as the Walnut Ridge Bobcats travel to Poinsett County to take on the Wildcats of Trumann. With pregame coverage starting at 6:35 with our coaches show and kickoff at 7. It's the Bobcats versus the Wildcats only on the NEA Sports Network. Join us on the NEA Sports Facebook and YouTube pages this Friday night in Trumann as the Walnut Ridge Bobcats travel to Poinsett County to take on the Wildcats of Trumann. With pregame coverage starting at 6:35 with our coaches show and kickoff at 7. It's the Bobcats versus the Wildcats only on the NEA Sports Network. Join us on the NEA Sports Facebook and YouTube pages this Friday night in Trumann as the Walnut Ridge Bobcats travel to Poinsett County to take on the Wildcats of Trumann. With pregame coverage starting at 6:35 with our coaches show and kickoff at 7. It's the Bobcats versus the Wildcats only on the NEA Sports Network. Join us on the NEA Sports Facebook and YouTube pages this Friday night in Trumann as the Walnut Ridge Bobcats travel to Poinsett County to take on the Wildcats of Trumann. With pregame coverage starting at 6:35 with our coaches show and kickoff at 7. It's the Bobcats versus the Wildcats only on the NEA Sports Network. Join us on the NEA Sports Facebook and YouTube pages this Friday night in Trumann as the Walnut Ridge Bobcats travel to Poinsett County to take on the Wildcats of Trumann. With pregame coverage starting at 6:35 with our coaches show and kickoff at 7. It's the Bobcats versus the Wildcats only on the NEA Sports Network. Join us on the NEA Sports Facebook and YouTube pages this Friday night in Trumann as the Walnut Ridge Bobcats travel to Poinsett County to take on the Wildcats of Trumann. with pregame coverage starting at 6:35 with our coaches show and kickoff at 7. It's the Bobcats versus the Wildcats only on the NEA Sports Network. Join us on the NEA Sports Facebook and YouTube pages this Friday night in Trumann as the Walnut Ridge Bobcats travel to Poinsett County to take on the Wildcats of Trumann, with pregame coverage starting at 6:35 with our coaches show and kickoff at 7. It's the Bobcats versus the Wildcats only on the NEA Sports Network. Join us on the NEA Sports Facebook and YouTube pages this Friday night in Trumann as the Walnut Ridge Bobcats travel to Poinsett County to take on the Wildcats of Trumann, with pregame coverage starting at 6:35 with our coaches show and kickoff at 7. It's the Bobcats versus the Wildcats only on the NEA Sports Network. Join us on the NEA Sports Facebook and YouTube pages this Friday night in Trumann as the Walnut Ridge Bobcats travel to Poinsett County to take on the Wildcats of Trumann, with pregame coverage starting at 6:35 with our coaches show and kickoff at 7. It's the Bobcats versus the Wildcats only on the NEA Sports Network. Join us on the NEA Sports Facebook and YouTube pages this Friday night in Trumann as the Walnut Ridge Bobcats travel to Poinsett County to take on the Wildcats of Trumann, with pregame coverage starting at 6:35 with our coaches show and kickoff at 7. It's the Bobcats versus the Wildcats only on the NEA Sports Network. Join us on the NEA Sports Facebook and YouTube pages this Friday night in Trumann as the Walnut Ridge Bobcats travel to Poinsett County to take on the Wildcats of Trumann, with pregame coverage starting at 6:35 with our coaches show and kickoff at 7. It's the Bobcats versus the Wildcats only on the NEA Sports Network. Join us on the NEA Sports Facebook and YouTube pages this Friday night in Trumann as the Walnut Ridge Bobcats travel to Poinsett County to take on the Wildcats of Trumann, with pregame coverage starting at 6:35 with our coaches show and kickoff at 7. It's the Bobcats versus the Wildcats only on the NEA Sports Network. Join us on the NEA Sports Facebook and YouTube pages this Friday.
We are here live in Trumann, Arkansas. I'm Ryan Fletcher. Next to me, Randy Coleman in the press box and at Trumann of the home of the Wildcats. Tonight they take on the Walnut Ridge Bobcats out of the 3A3. Randy, we're looking forward to this one.
Yeah, and, Coach Snyder said it. If you like good old-fashioned football where it's, between the tackles, slobber knocker kind of a night, this is the game for you.
So, taking a look in that scenario, both teams are going to run the football, and I'm just going to tell you, if you blink, this game may be over.
Yeah, it's going to be a ball control, field possession, one of those kind of nights where you want the ball on the opponent's end of the field. If you can do that, you can control down the distance and you can control the tempo of the game.
All right, well, we're going to send it to the coach's show. I interviewed Coach Jake Snyder. He talks about this game. You're watching the Walnut Ridge Bobcats versus the Trumann Wildcats here on the NEA Sports Network.
Now, the Coaches Show on NEA Sports Network.
Here live for our Barton's Coaches Show here with Coach Snyder, the Trumann Wildcats coach. In your first year here at Trumann, first I want to just ask, your background and how you landed here, and then we'll get to the ball game.
Got you. Well, I started coaching in Earl, coaching in Marion, under some really good coaches. I got to learn a lot and just kind of built my portfolio of how I want programs to be run through learning through some really good coaches in those spots. And when my opportunity came in for an interview, really was able to lay my plan out for the admin here, and parents matched up with the things they were looking for.
Okay. Second week of high school football, called week 1 though because of the week 0 scenario. Coming off a loss against Nettleton, but 5A team, very very good, very athletic. Talk to me about how you feel like you guys got better last week, and how that maybe preps you for this week against Walnut Ridge.
We looking at just the way our offense ran this past week is 1,000 times more smooth than what we were in our benefit game. I think that's a good thing about benefit games. You kind of get some of those kinks out. You're right. That is a really good team at Nettleton. They're going to make a big splash in the 5A East. I think they'll be a playoff team. We were able to run the ball. We had over 230 rushing yards on a really good defense with a lot of good athletes. And so just kind of getting back to who we are and establishing a dominant run game against them. That was the biggest thing from the benefit game to the week 0 game, was just really getting back to who we are.
And that goes straight into what we're going to talk about first here offensively. You guys run mainly out of the eye.
Yes, sir.
And obviously that's kind of your focal point. Probably control the clock a little bit. But just if you would talk about personnel offensively and your plan offensively going into this week.
Well, it's once again, it's just going to be staying true to who we are. That was our message last week. It's still kind of our message this week. It's just doing the things that we do and how we can run those things. We're going to keep getting Arzell Rolford involved. He had a great game last week, and then we'll supplement with guys like Carrillo, kind of in the inside run game. But we're also going to try to get athletes in space. We tried to do that last week with a couple of screens, and we're going to we'll try to do the same thing, is get our best players the ball while maintaining our identity. I think that's just kind of where we're focusing on this week.
Talk to me a little bit about personnel on your offensive line.
Offensive line, our Smitty is a big anchor for us. Our Devin Smithson is a big anchor for us. Ashton Irwin is getting better and better each week. We've got some young guys like Timmy King who are really kind of stepping up. He's kind of been thrown into the fire as a 10th grader who had to play last week. He started the benefit game, and he's doing a great job of getting better and better each week and is absorbing all the information we're throwing at him. We're going to rotate some different guys in this week as well. We've got Orlando Zavala's going to play for us, and we've got Cash Hunt and Denton Sparks going to rotate in for us some as well. We're going to utilize tight ends like always, guys like Kate Hayes and even Carrillo, Logan Mars. They're going to help us there. Those are just kind of guys we're kind of leaning on this week. So,
if you would talk to me a little bit about, obviously you're going to probably run, as we've mentioned, run heavy, but you're going to have to throw the ball some a little bit. So talk to me a little bit about your quarterback and that receiver.
That's Drake Harlow, and he's done a fantastic job of really getting us together. We're asking him to be a younger guy on the field. I know we got playing time last year, but still kind of a younger guy, taking control of our offense. He's done a really good job of being in command in the huddle, getting guys where they're supposed to be. And like all young quarterbacks, will get a little antsy sometimes, but he's getting a little better at trusting his line. He's doing a really great job for us, and I think this week is another opportunity for him to get to improve just like everybody else.
And those receivers, if we can talk about them for just a second.
So outside, Passmore has been our big guy. I think everybody knows that. And you can watch film. Passmore is a guy we're trying to get the ball to a lot. Eccles in the slot with Logan Barnes. Those guys are going to be big helps. Arzell will bump out there sometimes. Drake Hall's going to get some playing time this week out there for us, and he's been excellent. And our drills when it comes to block and helping set edges, he does a really good job with that. But those are really the 3 or 4 guys that are kind of consistently seeing playing time for us out there.
Okay. Now transition on the defensive side of things. I know you have several guys that play on both sides of the football, but if you would, let's just start with your defensive line.
So defensive line this week, this is going to be a tough game. It'll be a physical game. We want to run the ball. They want to run the ball. So we're going to try to do our best to get guys rotated. We're going to play some different guys up front, a little heavier this week with guys like Ashton Irwin playing both ways and Devin Smith playing both ways. Of course, we have our nose tackle in Maverick Atkins, who started both games for us, and he's had a really good summer. Those guys will play, and then we'll rotate. Timmy King's going to play some. It's just going to be a physical game, so we're going to put our best guys out there.
And as far as linebackers into that secondary, what does that look like?
Linebackers are, they're really held together by it. And Isaiah Carrillo, he is like a cannonball, man. Every time the ball snaps, he is flying somewhere, and he's been really good at getting everybody lined up, make sure guys are in the right spots, reading the right keys, and himself is just a disruptor. Gabe Carter is going to be big for us this week. Jabarius Carson, Cade Hayes, both going to be big for us on outside linebackers, helping set edges and be strong. They like to run counter at Walnut Ridge, and so we're going to depend on those guys, especially help us outside. In secondary, you've got guys like Arzell. He's a fantastic player. He's getting better and better each day. You've got Trevor Eccles is going to play both ways. We're looking to put maybe Passmore over there a little bit this week just to kind of help out. But those are the main guys on that side as well.
So I don't want to leave out special teams. You never know in high school football if you've got a kicker or not, if you're always going to go for two. What does that look like?
We've got a kicker. He's a young guy, and then just kind of depends on where he's feeling. If he's locked in early on, like in the benefit game, he was locked in the pregame. There's one opportunity he was good for. Last week he wasn't as locked in, and that's just kind of the struggle when you're young. He's a 10th grader, and so when he's feeling good, and he believes in himself, that's just the big thing. He's just getting confidence. We'll ride with him, and if not, we've got a set of 2-point plays that we're ready to use if that situation calls for it.
Will he punt as well?
Punter's Gabe Carter.
Okay.
So we use 3 different kickers. We got a kicker for PT field goals.
Okay.
Isaiah Carrillo kicks off for us, and then Gabe Carter's punter.
And then as far as guys returning punts and returning kickoffs, what does that look like?
Big ones is Arzell. Arzell's been big for us on offense and defense. He's going to be big for us on special teams as well.
Okay. And then, first home game of the year, I believe. I want to make sure I got that right.
First official one, yes, sir.
Okay. And, we talk a little bit about Walnut Ridge. You've already mentioned they're going to want to run the football too. I know they've made mention that they're going to look to pass more than they have in the past, but as good as they are at running it, I still think it'll be a high percentage of run. Cunningham is an athlete there at quarterback, and coach's son, Jace Blake, moves over and is going to see the ball a lot. They got a couple of really big boys too. So talk to me a little bit about Walnut Ridge and how you're prepping for them.
It's going to be a physical game. I think it's going to be a classic old school football game where it's just going to be 2 smash mouth teams that are just going to keep imposing their will, and it's going to come down to which team's going to break first. Like I said, our thing is on offense finding ways to get our best guys the ball while being true to who we are. Defensively, it's reading our keys, not getting misaligned. Making sure we're watching the ball, not giving up on either side, giving away stupid penalties that are going to cost us. It's going to be an exciting game. I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be a classic, just old school. If you like old school football, it's a place to be.
It's probably one of the games of the week that may get done a little bit quicker than some of these other places that you're going to run. That clock's going to
run.
Yeah, for sure. Which also makes for turnovers. Probably the team that turns the ball over more is going to lose the football game. Right?
Yes, sir. That's been a big point. We had a little bit of that problem last week, and so we're focusing in on that this week, just limiting our mistakes, being consistent, and we've got a really great team with a lot of potential, and we're kind of sitting on G, waiting on O, and we kind of get that consistency down. I think the sky's the limit for us.
You kind of led into my very last question I want to ask, since this will be our only trip here down to Trumann, but a team that I know that wants to improve from a 3-7 record last year, want to make playoffs and try to hope to make a run there. How do you feel about that? And it's early and we ain't hit conference yet, but what are your thoughts?
It is early, and we had a really good summer, a strong summer. We got in pretty good shape, and of course, we got a lot of guys that are kind of learning the importance of getting in shape, playing both ways now. The season's kind of kicked off, but we have a lot of potential. We've got speed, we've got size, our offensive line's pretty big. We need to get healthy. That's always a big thing, and quickly injuries kind of pile up. But this team, I've told them this since Dad got here, from watching film and just being around them, we can do whatever we want to do. We've got a team that we can just buckle down, be consistent every single day. I mean, there's not a whole lot this team can accomplish. I mean, we're one of the most experienced teams that I can think of. All of our guys have been playing since 10th grade. And we're very senior heavy, and so experience isn't an issue. We're pretty strong kids. Like I said, we've got a pretty good combination of speed to power. If we can just buckle down, stay consistent, like this team can really run.
Okay, well, Coach, wish you good best of luck against Walnut Ridge. This was the Barton's pregame coaches show. Up next is the game between the Walnut Ridge Bobcats and the Trumann Wildcats.
Some teachers you can't get rid of. You want to, but some good ones, they say one wrong thing and they're gone.
Yep.
Hey, we might be live. I didn't realize. Yeah, we're live. You want to?
Sweet. Hope my ex doesn't watch.
We just went.
For 140 years, homeowners and DIYers have trusted Barton's for their home improvement needs. From small projects to remodels to building a home, our experts are here with the tools, knowledge, and advice to make your project a success. With 10 100% employee-owned locations across Northeast Arkansas and Southeast Missouri, delivery, installation, and free design services, Barton's is your trusted partner for every project. Visit us online at bartons.com. Build it better with Barton's.
At Glen Sane, we've spent over 70 years trying to do things the right way, with honesty, heart, and hometown pride. With 4 locations across Paragould, Rector, and Kennett, we offer a wide selection of GMC, Chevy, Buick, and Ford vehicles, and service centers to keep them running strong. We're a family-owned business, and we treat every customer like one of our own, because after 70 years, that's what matters most.
Prestige Plumbing offers a wide range of residential and commercial services to meet every customer's needs. Whether it be new construction or a remodel, Prestige Plumbing is fast and efficient with the best quality service for their customers.
At Glen Sane, we know extra time is hard to come by. Your hands are full, your days are packed, and time doesn't slow down. We work hard when you have a service issue. With full service centers at each of our 4 locations, we will always do our best to make it convenient for you and your busy lifestyle. Thank you for trusting our family with your family for over 70 years.
A Ritter Go-Getter gets everything done, and Ritter Gig Internet can handle a ton. You'll create art for the whole world to see, find new ways to support all your teams, and arrange new arrangements for arranging your screens. You'll game, you'll stream, you'll bike till you can't, create filtered water for you and your plants, or watch video instructions for hemming your pants. With Ritter Internet, look at all you'll accomplish, connect all your devices, and, schmabomplish? With Wi-Fi this fast, there can be none better, so get in touch and be a Ritter Go-Getter.
Hey, Northeast Arkansas, Central Dealerships is not one to brag, but actually we are. We're at the top of our game, bringing NEA incredible selection and exceptional service. To back that, Central was awarded yet again General Motors Mark of Excellence. From Chevy to Toyota, Nissan to Ford, we have the perfect ride waiting for you and the best service to get it to you. So find your next vehicle at a Central dealership today or shop us online.
Poinsett County, one of the best in the area, including that humongous indoor facility that they have. I am Ryan Fletcher. Along next to me is Randy Coleman, as we are here just ready for kickoff as the Trumann Wildcats play host to the Walnut Ridge Bobcats. Randy, I'm ready to roll, aren't you?
Man, there's nothing like Friday night, and this is a great facility, and we got two slobber-knocker football teams. Here we go.
There's a short kick that's going to land at about the 27. It will be returned down the sidelines. There's a flag, and there it goes out of bounds. But a flag is probably going to bring this back from where they went out of bounds beyond the 40-yard line.
Well, I think that we may get some yardage tacked on to the return. Look like a face mask on Trumann. Jasper Callahan on the return right there, and it looks like they're going to add some on to this return. Isaiah
Carrillo was the guy that kicked off. That is a name that you will hear in abundance tonight. He plays on both sides of the football, and as you said, it's a good call, face mask, and that will be a great starting spot for the Bobcats.
Yeah, you start on the opponent's 39-yard line, and you're feeling pretty good. You can be very, very aggressive in your play calling. That face mask turned the head of Jasper Callahan right there. So here we go.
All right, so Walnut Ridge winds up in that wad, and there is a handoff to Jasper Callahan that'll garner a gain of about 3. Randy, talk to us a little bit about how this Bobcat offense works.
Well, it's a single wing, and I don't think you're going to get a lot of the spinner action that you would in some single wings from the quarterback, but you're going to get a ton of misdirection that like we saw right there.
Going to run the football again. This time, the Wildcats are there, and they're going to meet the Bobcats for a loss on the play.
Yeah, just great pursuit right there. It looked like Logan Mars, number 18 by Trumann, in on the tackle. And, that was just a good old-fashioned quarterback sweep by Walnut Ridge, and Trumann played it well. So the great yardage that Walnut Ridge gained on the first play is negated, but we do have a penalty.
It is a face mask again against the Wildcats. That'll be an automatic first down. It'll move them up 15 yards. So they were going to have them 3rd down and long, and instead Walnut Ridge in a very good position again here close to the 20. There's the snap, and there's a running play headed to the end zone, and we've got a touchdown for the Walnut Ridge Bobcats, and that is Jace Blake.
Yeah, that's just good old-fashioned QB power, but with two lead blockers leading up in the hole from the backfield. Great blocking by the Walnut Ridge offensive line. Jace makes one defender miss and then sprints to the end zone.
Well, Jace Blake is the son of head coach Jeff Blake, and Randy, you and I and Coach Brad Davis were talking about Jeff playing earlier today. There goes a handoff to number 4, Jasper Callahan, and he scoots in for the 2-point conversion. We'll talk about the Blakes when we return here on the NEA Sports Network. We return here to action, and it has the Wildcats looking for a huge return past the 50, and finally out of bounds they go. It was Callahan saving what could have maybe ended up being a touchdown, Randy.
Yeah, Drake Hall right there catches that low line drive kickoff and heads toward his sideline, makes a couple men miss, and gets the ball up into Walnut Ridge territory, but we do have a penalty on the play.
Well, that is the third penalty against Trumann so far in this game. Now, one thing to make note of, Randy, coming into this football game, both teams have significant players missing from their roster for various reasons, some injury, some other. Trumann has close to 9 to 10 out tonight. So you've got some guys out there with some inexperience.
Yeah, and that's part of the growing process in non-conference, but I still expect a good quality football game tonight.
So that running play goes nowhere, and it's going to be second down.
Yeah, Jace Delaney right there did a good job of setting the edge for Walnut Ridge on that stretch play, just the outside zone play by Trumann, who really, they're going to base out of the eye right there. They're in the shotgun, but you're going to see a lot of, power inside runs and then a lot of outside zone from the Trumann Wildcats.
So it's going to be second down and 9. Wildcats yet again are going to line up. This looks more like a pistol formation. They got 3. Now they send a receiver in motion. Handoff goes to number 14. He's going to try to get around to the edge, but he's drugged down on a shoestring tackle. And I mentioned number 14, that's Drake Hall.
Yeah, Drake Hall, who had the good return just a second ago. Here's the deal. Right now, Trumann is missing a few players, and traditionally, I know Coach Snyder wants to be not a finesse team, a power team that runs the ball between the tackles. But, good football coaches do what they need to do with the personnel they have. Missing a few guys, and you're going to see it looks like a lot more shotgun tonight from the Trumann Wildcats.
Yeah, that certainly has been the adjustment we've seen at least through the first 2 offensive plays so far. Now, they've ran the football both times. So, and that's number 11, Drake Harlow, winding up. He looks to throw a quick pass, and that is going to be incomplete. And that will make it fourth down, and it looks like a punting situation for the Wildcats.
Yeah, that ball just sailed on Drake a little bit there. One of those things when you're throwing those quick bubbles, it almost like a baseball player, a shortstop turn it to. You're going to catch it, slide, step, and get that ball out. I think, a lot of times when you do that, especially if Drake's a baseball player, the elbow gets a little low and the ball sails high. That looks like what happened right there. So now we got a punting situation for Truman.
Well, and let's say the receiver does make that catch. I don't necessarily know if he was going anywhere. They had at least one defender that tracked it down. That punt is high, and it's going to take a favorable roll for the Wildcats inside the 35, and it will be downed at the 32-yard line. It will be 1st and 10 for the Bobcats with solid field position.
Yeah, and now we can, kind of both teams have got the nerves out. Let's hope Truman stops kind of the self-inflicted wounds that they've had so far with the 3 penalties, and let's get into kind of settling in to playing a good football game right now.
So we talked about Truman being without some players. The Walnut Ridge Bobcats are without their starting quarterback in Jersey Cunningham. Also, Big Trevor Augustine, who is a super sophomore, I believe, this year. I may be wrong. They may be a junior this year. There's a big running play, and they just keep mulling their way through for more yards across the 40. But Augustine, a big player on that line. In addition, he's a guy that Cunningham likes to throw to.
Yeah, but here's one thing that we do know about Walnut Ridge is, Jersey Cunningham's out tonight, but Jace Blake is the guy that kind of makes everything go. He had over 80 yards rushing last week, caught a pass through 6 passes. So he's the guy that makes everything go.
Another rush. Callahan's got the first down, and he is very close to the 50-yard line. I think he'll be just shy of that at the 49.
Yeah, and that's the 3rd time they've ran that little inside counter play. It's almost similar to the veer kind of double handoff, but basically you're just an inside trap from that slot receiver. And really more than anything, it turns into counter with the guard and tackle pulling and kicking out and wrapping.
I mentioned Augustine. He is a junior this year. He certainly was a super sophomore last year. There goes a running play up the middle, and it will gain a yard. It's going to make it 2nd down and 9.
Yeah, Carter Morse there on the carry, and that's just a direct snap to the fullback in this offense. He gains a tough 1 yard. But, here's what Coach Blake is doing. It's kind of thinking like a boxer. You want to work the body, and then they're going to throw a haymaker here in a second.
Now, Brogan Tate is lined up in a receiver slot. There goes a running play, and it's down the sidelines. He's got one man to beat, and he is caught and out of bounds. But that is Carter Morse on a huge run from the 49 all the way down to the 14-yard line.
Yeah, a little misdirection in the backfield. Carter faked it one way and kept it the other way. And right now, the offensive line, you got to tip your hat to them. They're really controlling the line of scrimmage. All the backs in Walnut Ridge's offense are getting good, positive gains.
Here's Blake trying to get around to the edge. Blake cuts back, end zone. Jace Blake will score a touchdown. There is a flag.
Yeah, typically where that flag is thrown, it looks like it's in the holding area, but we'll see what they call here. Nice little cutback by Jace on the quarterback sweep to get in the end zone. Brad Davidson's crew is officiating tonight.
All right, there was 2 penalties, and Truman's going to accept the holding penalty instead of the other. So that's going to scoot them back. That will negate the touchdown, and it's going to make it 1st down and long.
Yeah, I think the block in the back penalty or the initial call goes from the line of scrimmage. That holding call is going to be from the point of the hold, so you get a little more negative yardage in that situation. Now we got 1st and a long way for Walnut Ridge.
Blake looks to fire, and it's short and incomplete. So, Randy, we we talk about this formation that they line up in. When I look at it as a casual football fan, it just looks like a shotgun to me. But there's a whole lot more to it than that because they're going to run the football, right?
Yeah. So basically, what ultimately you have is everybody in the backfield's a running back. You know, with the quarterback who's receiving the snap and getting the ball, you can have a lot more misdirection than you would with a normal quarterback.
I guess the thing it gives away is the fact that, I mean, you're pretty much telling the defense you're going to run the football.
Without a doubt.
But you make the comment, you got so many guys back there, you don't really know who's going to get it or who. You may do a reverse, some misdirection, and that's proven to be problematic for Truman so far.
Yeah, and you'll see people going, you know, you'll have people going both horizontally, left and right on a lot of plays. And then ultimately one guy's going to get it. So you're kind of just using, you know, I mean, without, you know, you're using smoke and mirrors a little bit just to try to hide where the ball's going to go.
There's Morse this time on the direct snap, and he is hit behind the line of scrimmage, and it's 4th down. Now, on that particular play, they lined up more in a spread scenario. So you might think, well, they might throw the football. You might more of a traditional looking shotgun scenario.
Right. Well, and you know, and I'm trying to get in the mind of Coach Blake, but really you're just trying to spread the defense out to open up some more running lanes.
Okay. Well, 6:36 to go in this game. We've got a timeout, and we'll take one too here on the NEA Sports Network.
Hey, Northeast Arkansas, Central Dealerships is not one to brag, but actually, we are. We're at the top of our game, bringing NEA incredible selection and exceptional service. To back that, Central was awarded, yet again, General Motors Mark of Excellence. From Chevy to Toyota, Nissan to Ford, we have the perfect ride waiting for you and the best service to get it to you. So find your next vehicle at a Central dealership today or shop us online.
We're back here at Truman just in time for this play. They go for it on 4th down. Jace Blake looks to find some running room. Cut back again. Now he does have some room to the 10, down to the 5. Jace Blake turns something or nothing into something, which is a touchdown, and it is 14-0 Bobcats.
Wow, that's just something that's got to be frustrating for Coach Snyder.
No
because
kidding.
You have the play defended well. You know, unfortunately, like we've been talking about, you got a running back there at quarterback, and when he makes the cutback and everybody's flooded to the one side of the field, you know, Jace has got all that room to work with, and he's a good enough athlete, he can get into the paint.
All right, they will go for 2 right here. Handoff on the looks like the same play as on the last 2-point conversion to Callahan, and it is good. It is quickly 16-zip with 6:24 to play. You're watching the NEA Sports Network.
At Glensane, we know extra time is hard to come by. Your hands are full, your days are packed, and time doesn't slow down. We work hard when you have a service issue. With full service centers at each of our 4 locations, we will always do our best to make it convenient for you and your busy lifestyle. Thank you for trusting our family with your family for over 70 years.
A Ritter Go-Getter gets everything done, and Ritter Gig Internet can handle a ton. You'll create art for the whole world to see, find new ways to support all your teams, and arrange new arrangements for arranging your screens. You'll game, you'll stream, you'll bike till you can't. Create filtered water for you and your plants, or watch video instructions for hemming your pants. With Ritter Internet, look at all you'll accomplish. Connect all your devices and, schmabomplish? With Wi-Fi this fast, there can be...
And here we are. We're back, and a return and a great open field tackle there by Kagan Dame.
Yeah, that's just a great open field tackle by Kagan, because if he doesn't make that play, Drake Hall has another good return again. Right now, Coach Snyder's in a situation where you got 6 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first quarter. A lot of football game left. You don't want the body language of your team to get down. You still got a lot of football left. They need to get something positive right here. Hopefully Coach Snyder can get this Trumann Wildcat team going.
Well, you certainly would like to see that if you're a Trumann fan, and yeah, just something positive. And Randy, it seems like when they've done good things, it's just almost been null because of penalties. They've had 3 penalties already in this game that have really, really hurt them.
Yeah, those penalties were big, especially on the kickoff return, where you've got a big return setting you up in good field position in Walnut Ridge territory.
Well, that was a pitch play to the near side of the field that went absolutely nowhere. The pitch went to Cooper Hatley.
Yeah, and Taylor Nichols makes a really good play there from the linebacker position for Walnut Ridge for a loss of 1. And now, I think I know that Coach Snyder wants to run the football, but I think tonight we're going to have to see him open up the playbook a little bit. And look, ultimately, throughout the course of the season, this could be a benefit for him as he's moving forward.
All right. Back out of the gun. And now quarterback's going to look to keep. He won't get much. And it's going to be 3rd down in a long situation.
Drake Harlow last week against Nettleton played a really good football game. Watching that game last week, you had a lot of, Trumann ran for over 300 yards last week against a good Nettleton football team, and you can just see how missing some players this week is really, going to cost Trumann maybe in this game. But, if you're looking at it from a positive standpoint, I think Coach Snyder can build depth moving forward this year and find some guys that he might not normally look for, moving forward.
Well, and that's one thing that he talked about that came out of that game last week that he was proud of, was how successfully they ran the football. There's a pass play on 3rd down. It's over the far side of the field, incomplete. Pass target went to Landon Adams.
Yeah, and again, they fake left. He flips and throws right, the little out route, trying to condense his alignment to get the out. And once he catches it, he can work, upfield. But just ball sails a little bit.
So, 4th down and right at 9 yards, a long 9 actually. You got to believe they will very much be punting here with 4:34 to go in the first quarter. And the play clock is, well, they get it off. There's a good booming punt that's going to be caught at the 45, and it's going to be returned. Jace Blake, he turns it up. Down the sidelines, Jace Blake, cut back. And look at that. Jace Blake has returned one for 55 yards on a punt return with 4:18 to play here in the first quarter. The Wildcats now lead it 22-0.
Yeah, and the initial guy, a lot of times that's the deep snapper, has a chance to break down and at least slow Jace's forward momentum as he's getting up the field on the initial after the initial catch. He doesn't get any of that, forward momentum slowed down, and Jace gets to the sideline, and he's off to the races.
Well, yeah, he's just a super talented player, and he's getting an opportunity to really show that. They go with the exact same play yet again. I don't know if Callahan gets in or not. I'm waiting a signal. It is no good. So the 2-point conversion's no good. 4:18 to play in the first. 22-zip Walnut Ridge here on the NEA Sports Network.
140 years, homeowners and DIYers have trusted Barton's for their home improvement needs. From small projects to remodels to building a home, our experts are here with the tools, knowledge, and advice to make your project a success. With 10 100% employee-owned locations across Northeast Arkansas and Southeast Missouri, delivery, installation, and free design services, Barton's is your trusted partner for every project. Visit us online at bartons.com. Build it better with Barton's.
At Glensane, we've spent over 70 years trying to do things the right way, with honesty, heart, and hometown pride. With 4 locations across Paragould, Rector, and Kennett, we offer a wide selection of GMC, Chevy, Buick, and Ford vehicles, and service centers to keep them running strong. We're a family-owned business, and we treat every customer like one of our own, because after 70 years, that's what matters most.
Back in Trumann, there's the kickoff. It will roll and be fielded at the 15. Here comes the return down the sidelines. He's got one man to beat on a cutback, and he will be caught, but crossing midfield, and now we have a late flag coming over in a very weird spot of the field. I'm going to say that's against Trumann, and I don't know if that came as a penalty on over here on the sidelines or as in the Trumann bench or what.
Yeah, that's an odd flag position. Yep, that's a sideline warning.
Okay.
Now, a lot of times they can wave that off and you still get the field position, but a lot of times that comes from the white part on the sideline is basically the officials' area to roam.
Okay.
If a player or coach gets in that area and they run into them, they're automatically going to throw that flag. So this is just that warning. The next time they will get a sideline penalty.
I don't know. I feel like when I've watched so many games over the years, everybody's in that white part.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just one of those things. You're getting into the ball game. You got a big return there by Drake Hall. They're probably getting a little bit excited, and but it's a sideline warning, so no penalty there. And they're going to line up here, and we'll look maybe at a pass play. Pass is incomplete. It was right into the hands of Cade Hayes, and he dropped it.
And just a great play call right there because you get the quarterback sweep action with the late tight end on the corner route. Perfect ball thrown by Drake Harlow, and just unfortunately, you don't catch it.
It's really athletic-looking play right there. He kind of had to jump to kind of make the throw. He kind of threaded the needle there in between a couple of defenders, and just unfortunately that receiver didn't come away with it. So second down. A pair of receivers over the far side of the field. Handoff this time, and there's a hole, a big hole. That will get the Wildcats inside the 40-yard line, and it will be third down and manageable.
Yeah, and right here you're in 4-down territory. Although we have another flag down, we're in 4-down territory, and we've got a hold on Trumann. So right now Trumann is their own worst enemy. Kind of every time they get a little bit of momentum, they get a penalty against them.
Oh gosh, that made it from 3rd and 3 or 4, and now you're staring down 2nd and. It looks like over 20 yards. Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, they had unbelievable field position to start this drive on a great return by Hall. And now they're backed up to their own 44. Back out in that gun. Bad snap. This time they go to a quick handoff to the running back, and he's going to get nowhere. It's going to make it 3rd and long.
Yeah, and that's just a good play by the defensive end from Walnut Ridge. You got twins and a nub or a tight end away from the twins, and that defensive end just came free right there. There was a little bit of the snap was a little bit off. Drake Harlow had to go to his left a little bit to catch it, get it back to his right. By that time, the defensive end had closed and made the play in the backfield.
So third down and a long, it says, okay, there it is, 22 on the scoreboard, and I believe it. We're play clock now down to 7 seconds, and I think Truman's going to have to call a timeout right here. It's down to 3, 2, 1, and that's exactly what they'll do. So timeout Truman. There'll be a timeout for the NEA Sports Network. We'll be back here in just a moment.
Basketball star Austin Reeves is part of the Central Dealerships team. And just like Austin, we want you to join our team as well. So score big with your new or used vehicle from Central today. Central Dealerships is not one to brag, but actually we are. Central was awarded, yet again, General Motors Mark of Excellence. We have the perfect ride waiting for you and exceptional service. So find your next vehicle at a Central dealership today.
We have returned to Truman. It is 3rd down and 22. A timeout was taken by Coach Snyder. Going to set things up. You got to believe we're going to see a pass play. They got 2 receivers to the near side of the field. Quarterback Harlow throws. It is thrown behind the receiver. It looked like some confusion right there. The intended receiver, Landon Adams, and Coach, it didn't look like they were on the same page.
Well, I don't know if that's a deep comeback or a deep out route. Really a lot of times you tell a quarterback if you're going to miss to the sideline because there's the negative plays go down at that point. But, yeah, the receiver either didn't see the coverage and adjust to the sideline quick enough, or it was just a little bit errant. I think, again, if I were coaching the quarterback at this point, I would rather him miss there than down the field, which could result in an interception.
I believe that's Preston Carter, number 24, that's going to punt the football. If that's the player that laid that last punt out, he boomed one out there. Sometimes you can out punt your coverage though, and this one's high. It's going to hang up, and they're going to have to just let it roll on out of bounds at the 36-yard line. But I felt like it was punted so deep that last time it really opened up the door for Jace Blake to make that huge 55-yard punt return that resulted in the touchdown.
Well, and they're going to directionally punt from now on away from Jace Blake. So they kicked it toward their sideline, and Jace did the smart thing and let it roll.
Now I want to brag on Jace. I got to talking about him and his dad. Jace is he's for sure a 3-sport athlete because I've watched him play football, basketball, and baseball. Now, he may play more sports than that at Walnut Ridge, but he is a sports fanatic. But one thing that you and I, Coach Brad Davis, were talking about earlier today was that his dad was an outstanding running back, I believe you said, at Greene County Tech.
Yeah, outstanding running back at Greene County Tech. Went on to play a lot of good football when Coach Malzahn, Coach Freeze were at Arkansas State, where he was kind of the H-back / fullback. Mm-hmm. Just a outstanding athlete, his dad, and the genes go a long way, and Jace has got them.
Morse with a huge carry right there that's going to put the Bobcats in Truman territory at the 49. They line up, quarterback as a running back to his side, a quick pass over to the far side of the field. It is complete, and that will be 2nd down and a gain of close to 6 yards.
Yeah, just a nice little screen play out to Trip Tinker from Jace Blake. And Jace, threw it 6 times last week. He's got that ability, like you said, when you're a multi-sport athlete, you can do those sorts of things, and he's doing a good job here. It's interesting to me seeing how open the formations are for Walnut Ridge tonight.
This time a straight-up run play for Blake. He gets to the edge, and now he's headed towards the end zone. Jace Blake is going to be caught finally and drug out of bounds, but another huge gain for Jace Blake, and total yards for him in this one. I mean, he's well over, I feel like, 150 right now.
Yeah, that's a 34-yard run right there. And, yeah, when you throw in a, 55 to 60-yard punt return, he's pushing the 200-yard mark in total yards.
Had that impressive run on a 3rd down and long scenario that really you felt like he could have been sacked, and he turned it into a touchdown. So now Morse is going to run the football. He cuts back once. He's still on his feet, and finally they will bring him down at the 4-yard line.
I'll tell you, this little, 1-2 punch of Blake and Morse has been really impressive tonight. And again, you got the misdirection in the backfield. You got Jace running right there, and Morse running back to the left. Just very, very impressive what Walnut Ridge is doing. And you gotta give kudos to the offensive line too for what they're doing up front.
Quick pass. That is caught by Callahan, and there's a flag on the play. He was hit behind, maybe hit behind the line of scrimmage there. So it's going to be 3rd down, and we'll see where they mark the ball at. But there's also the flag.
Yeah, it's a loss of 3 there on the little hit screen out there to Callahan.
Got an illegal block in the back, so that's going to move him back even further.
Yeah, and I think right now, as Coach Snyder, you got to take that penalty just to push them back, to try to get your defense a little bit of space to try to hold Walnut Ridge out of the end zone right here.
All right, so it's going to be 2nd down and goal. Ball at the 15. Jace Blake. This time, was that a loose football, or am I seeing things?
Well, I don't think you're seeing things, but fortunately, I don't know who recovered it. It looked like it went right to the Trumann defender, but Walnut Ridge regains possession.
All right, we're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be back here in a moment here on the NEA Sports Network.
Milligan Heating and AC works to serve the Northeast Arkansas community in meeting all of your HVAC needs. Give Justin Milligan a call at 870-243-2820.
Be sure to watch the NEA Sports Network as we bring you live coverage this football season. From week 0 to the playoffs, we bring you rivalries and great matchups to go along with championship coverage. Be sure to watch each game at the NEA Sports Facebook page or the NEA Sports YouTube page. NEA Sports, putting Northeast Arkansas student athletes first.
All right, starting the second quarter, and it has been all Walnut Ridge here in this ball game. They lead it 22-0. Randy, we talked about a scenario that Trumann comes into this game with several players not playing tonight. Walnut Ridge is missing 2 key players as well, but really just the running game has been utterly impressive for the Bobcats. They've got a chance here on 3rd down and goal from the 4-yard line to try to get in and score.
Yeah, and right now Jace Blake has 7 carries for 93 yards and 2 touchdowns, and throw in the punt return touchdown. He's showing, really how quality of an athlete he is. And again, you got to give credit to the offensive line up front for what they're doing, but Jace Blake is putting on a show tonight.
Direct snap. They're going to try to push him on in, and I don't think he made it. We got a late flag coming in. Let's see what that call is going to be. That's going to be 4th down and short, but let's see what happens on the flag.
And I would think coming from the white hat position, that's got to be on the offense.
Yeah.
And I don't know the way that play kind of went. If there is a chop block where, you got one person blocking high and another blocking low, I don't know I can tell you this, and I'm just being completely transparent. In all my years of coaching, Brad Davidson and his crew, they're a good crew, but they are going to call a lot of fouls throughout the night, and we've seen that early in this football game.
Well, there's been quite a few already, as you mentioned. I never actually saw the actual call, and I'm sure they reported it, and I just missed it.
It's one of those assistance calls. I mean, but now with plays like the tush push and everything,
right.
The only way you could get that called on you if you're pulling instead of pushing.
Okay, Blake trying to get to the outside. He's going to cut back. He looks to get in, and he will. Touchdown, Jace Blake. Touchdown, Walnut Ridge. They lead it 28-0, and we are barely into the second quarter.
Yeah, and with that carry, Jace Blake goes over the 100-yard mark early in the second quarter, along with 3 touchdowns. So, just an outstanding night for Jace so far.
Got to have a little replay action there from our director tonight. Much better director than you had on week 0, which would have been me last week. Didn't know what I was doing. So, going to try to go for 2, and that fooled me. I don't think they got in. They are going to be short. So, they are 2 for 4 tonight on 2-point conversions with 11:29 to go in the second quarter. It's all Walnut Ridge here on the NEA Sports Network. You doing Prestige?
No matter what the job calls for, contractors can count on Barton's. With your own dedicated sales representative, you'll get personalized support and accurate material takeoffs to keep your project on budget. Need flexible financing? We offer in-house accounts and financing options. Plus, take advantage of our product holding, on-site delivery, and professional installation of flooring, cabinets, and vanities. Supplying local contractors for 140 years. Visit us online at bartons.com. Build it better with Barton's.
Since 1945, we've been more than just a bank. We've been deeply rooted in communities across Arkansas, growing alongside the families and businesses we serve. We started the Farmers and Merchants Bank in Stuttgart, Arkansas 80 years ago to ensure working folks could borrow money to run their farms, fund their businesses, and build their families' futures. Today, Farmers and Merchants Bank is proud to continue supporting our communities, including our students and athletes. Farmers and Merchants Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
We have returned here to Trumann, Arkansas. Wildcats of the 4A3 hosting the Walnut Ridge Bobcats out of that 3A3 conference. And Walnut Ridge has come in and they have dominated in this game through the first quarter and 30 seconds into the second quarter. I don't know what happened right there. Wildcat kind of tripped up, and there is an immediate flag thrown.
Well, I think that might be the tee, Ryan. The
was
tee
it?
went about as far as the ball did, but right there, Keegan Gann caught that ball, and I think when he makes his initial cut, he slips on the turf and falls down.
Yeah, I mean they're not backing anything up, so you're right. Was the tee yellow?
The tee is orangish yellow.
Okay.
And it made its way down.
Well, it sure did. I mean, you're right. It went nearly as far as the football, so that one had me fooled. So Truman's going to get the football at the 33-yard line, and they're going to line up out of that I. Handoff. And there's no running room whatsoever. It's going to be second down.
Yeah, and I think, Coach Snyder probably just wants to get back to what he knows his team can do well and did well last week against Nettleton. Let's just get an eye. Let's try to control the line of scrimmage and make positive yards. That time, Walnut Ridge does a really good job of balling them up and for no gain.
One thing the Wildcats will do is try to take their time and run that clock. I mean, you've got to find a way to score on this drive and get a hold and get some momentum. And that is busted up, and it was a forced fumble, but luckily for Trumann, they are going to fall on the football. That was Trevor Eccles who lost it and then fell on it.
Yeah, and you saw the Brits blitz right there by Jackson Brady, and he timed it perfectly. Now, you know, Trevor Eccles did a great job of evading the tackle, but Jackson Brady did a good job of getting his hand in there and ripping the football out.
Great look on the replay we had right there of that football coming loose. Quarterback is going to look over to his coach to the sideline out of that I formation and third down and a long ways to go, and there's a flag. That has got to be a false, it looks like a false start penalty.
Yeah, it really just looked like everybody was on the same page except the center. The center didn't snap the ball when Drake Harlow was expecting it, and I think everybody else was expecting it at the same time, and so just a little miscommunication by the on the snap exchange there.
So third down and 20 yards. Going to line back up out of the I. Quick pass over to the far side of the field, and that will gain about 2 yards, and it is fourth down. So the Wildcats will have to punt the football yet again here with 9 minutes to go in the second quarter. They find themselves down by 28.
Yeah, you know, I've been here before as a coach where it seems like nothing's going right, and you're kind of reaching deep into the playbook to get some positivity. But one thing I always kind of went back to is, you know, adversity will really, you know, one, show the true character of the team, but especially adversity early in the season can help you in the long run.
Yeah.
Because if you find ways to overcome it, it's going to help you once conference season rolls around.
That punt is blocked. It is blocked. It is picked up, and it will be. No. They have stopped play. They've stopped play. Now, Randy?
Now, it could be that they determined that when the
ball was down?
That either the ball was down or, you know, in that scenario, Brogan Tate picks it up, that when he picks it up, his knee is touching down, and they ruled him down.
Well,
there.
First off, great job by Brogan. What I would have loved to have seen for him, I know he's a senior on this team, great kid. Featured him in the upcoming football preview. I'd have loved for very few times he's probably had the opportunity to get one of those scoop and scores. And unfortunately, he's not going to get the touchdown out of it, but he has certainly put his team in a tremendous position to go score yet again.
Without a doubt. Just a great play.
A running play. It's not going to get much, 2 or 3 yards. Was that Morse?
Yeah, that's Carter Morse right there. And, you know, tonight it's been the 1-2 punch of Jace Blake and Carter Morse. And really, you know, Carter's been the guy that's working the body in boxing terms, and Jace Blake has been the haymaker. And you know, that time, you know, you got Brogan Tate leading up in the hole. Carter Morse following him. Trumann defense steps up and makes a big play.
Yeah.
So now we got 2nd and 8 from the 10-yard line.
A little bit of a delayed handoff to Callahan. Callahan is going to be close. There's a first down opportunity before the touchdown, and I think he might have got the first down.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to give him the first down and then mark him out about the 1-yard line. So they've run that little, you know, slot trap play or slot counter play, however you want to describe it, a few times tonight. But he gains 8 right there. He almost finds the end zone, but Trumann knocks him out right at the goal line.
All right, so it is spotted at the 2-ish, 1.5-yard line. Going to go the snap to Morse. It looks like he's in. He is, and it is a touchdown for the Walnut Ridge Bobcats. And it is now a 34-0 football game. And if they can, which they haven't shown that they can kick an extra point yet,
So if they go for two, either way, if they can complete one of those two things, they're going to be in a position to run the clock in the second half if that score is to hold up.
It does look like they're going to attempt the extra point, which, I mean, they've done a good job of converting two-point conversions. This is one of those things where you definitely get a chance to work on this.
Right.
And you've got Jasper Callahan that's been a big part of the night. Let's see if he can knock it through.
And he does. So it is 35-zip. We'll be back here in a moment on the NEA Sports Network.
Hey, Northeast Arkansas, Central Dealerships is not one to brag, but actually we are. We're at the top of our game, bringing NEA incredible selection and exceptional service. To back that, Central was awarded yet again General Motors Mark of Excellence. From Chevy to Toyota, Nissan to Ford, we have the perfect ride waiting for you and the best service to get it to you. So find your next vehicle at a Central dealership today or shop us online.
We have return and a kickoff that is going to go out of bounds, and that will be a penalty. That will allow the Wildcats to get field position in high school, Randy. It is the
35.
35. Okay.
Yep.
So same as the pro or
bring
the
it out to the 35-yard line, and so good field position starting here for Trumann. You got 7:07 here in the second quarter, and Trumann desperately needs. At this point, I'm not even going to say they need a touchdown, but they need to put together a drive where they get 2 or 3 first downs and just get some positivity, flip the field, because right now Walnut Ridge has had great field position tonight and been able to capitalize on that.
Okay, so they're going to line up in the I. And, I mean, Randy, you're down by this much, and a lot of times you would think, well, they need to start trying to throw the football and, get quick plays. That is busted up and is going to be a big loss. But I think now you're kind of looking at a scenario of how do I get better and maybe run our style of maybe offense and try to just find some success for going into the next few weeks.
Yeah, I think you've got to do that. And right there, Walnut Ridge just takes the ball away from the Trumann ball carrier, and it's another turnover. So right now, Trumann's in that position where everything that can go wrong will go wrong. But I'll tell you what, as a coach, you're looking at this and you're like, I bet next week at Trumann High School the practice is going to be phenomenal.
I would say so.
Because you're going to have all those players back that were lost from the Nettleton game. You're going to have, film on this game. And I bet I would really like to see Trumann play next week because I bet you're going to see a totally different football team.
And it looks like we have a timeout maybe. Something is going on. Let's go ahead and shoot a timeout. We'll be back here in just a second.
Prestige Plumbing offers a wide range of residential and commercial services to meet every customer's needs. Whether it be new construction or a remodel, Prestige Plumbing is fast and efficient with the best quality service for their customers. From water leaks to slab leaks to new sewer lines or handicap showers, Prestige Plumbing should be your first call for all your plumbing needs.
All right, so in between the break, we've discovered that there was a flag that actually went against Walnut Ridge on that last play, and another hit in the actually he got around and is hit in the backfield, though. It's going to be 2nd and 8. That was a loss of 3 on the play.
Yeah, and that's Cooper Hatley on the carry, and Cooper Hatley, sophomore. Right now with Truman, having a lot of these guys that are unable to play tonight, you got a lot of Truman younger guys that are getting some real good experience. Right there, Taylor Nichols, linebacker for Truman or for Walnut Ridge, does a really good job in pursuit, but and tracks down Cooper Hatley. But it's going to be one of those nights where you get a lot of good experience from the Truman younger players.
Trying to get around to the edge and just know where to go. There is a flag, and that may be a late hit out of bounds.
And one thing younger players are going to learn as they get more snaps, that a lot of time in high school football, as big and as fast and as strong as athletes are, you are not going to evade many people going side to side. Most of the evading will be in sharp cuts where you're getting vertically up the field. And right now you see a young guy in Cooper Hatley that's trying to outrun people to the sideline instead of just, making one man miss, get vertical up the field, and get positive yards.
So 3rd down and 12 to 13. Back out of the I formation. Play action. Quarterback scrambling for his life. He looks to throw. It's complete, and that is not going to be a first down. It's about a yard shy, but that was not a bad-looking play, Randy.
That's a really good football play right there, especially Drake Harlow, boots out, buys some time, evades some pressure, hits Cade Hayes coming across the field and gets a good 11-yard gain. And I think they're going to go for it right here.
Yeah, why not? I mean, you're 4th and 1 situation, and they're known for being able to run the football. Coach Snyder's probably looking at a situation like, look, we may be down at this score, but let's do something positive right here and show our identity and what we're made of. 4th and 1, out of the I. And Walnut Ridge jumped. That was the number 65.
Yeah, right now, just Gabe Cifuentes gets a little bit jumpy right there and just steps across with a little bit of the hard count from Drake Harlow.
Well, I think everybody knew they were going to run, got a little over-anxious, and the penalty goes against Walnut Ridge, and it will be 1st and 10, ball at the Truman 49.
Yeah, and this is what we were talking about, just getting a little bit of positive, put together some first downs, see what you can get rolling, and get some positivity moving forward.
Quick pass over the far side of the field, and that ball is knocked loose. It is still on the ground, and it looks like the Bobcats are going to recover and come away with it. And on the recovery is Jace Dulaney.
Yeah, and, unfortunately, that's, it's just one of those plays where you throw the quick hitter out there to and unfortunately trying to make a man miss, you get the ball knocked away.
Got a good look on the replay. That ball popped way out of there, about 5 or 6 yards, and smart. You always see that open field ahead of you if you're a defender, and you like that idea of that scoop and score. But probably a good decision by Delaney to just make sure he fell on it and secured the football.
A lot of coaches teach city and country when you're recovering a fumble. City, there's a lot of people around, so you're going to get on it and fall on it. Country, it's wide open spaces. You got time to mess with it to pick it up.
So a running play for the Bobcats results in a minimal gain. It'll be 2nd down.
It looked like Braden Croney. I think it was number 6, maybe. Is that number 6, Braden Croney on the gain right there. He gets 2 yards, and it looks like Coach Blake is putting some other guys in here to get some experience.
Well, get some of that experience. You don't want to risk getting one of your starters hurt when you're up by this score. There's another positive gain, and now we got a little scuffle going on in the backfield. I think they just kind of got tangled up with one another. Nothing crazy there.
Great job by Brad Davidson to keep that flag in your pocket and, let guys play through the whistle. And, we got a good positive gain there by Jackson Brady. 5-yard gain brings up 3rd and short.
Little misdirection. Callahan, he's got the first down and then some. He will cross the 20-yard line, and it's going to be a first down for Walnut Ridge.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen that play several times tonight, especially on 2-point conversions right there. Jackson Brady goes for 11 yards and puts Walnut Ridge inside the red zone. Now they got 1st and 10 from the 19.
Two minutes and 49 seconds to go in this first half. Walnut Ridge trying to get in yet again. It's a direct snap, a run up the gut, and it'll be 2nd and 5.
Yeah, right there you got Jackson Brady again, and he goes for 4 yards straight up the middle, and Jackson's come in, and you can see that, I know he's been on defense tonight and playing really well, but he's getting some snaps offensively and showing what he can do there. $2:13 to go here in the second quarter. I think you're going to see Coach Blake use every second of the play clock and try to milk this clock down to halftime.
Callahan caught in the backfield that time, and it's going to be 3rd down, a loss of about a half to a yard. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, you get to the half, up 35, you get that clock running the entire second half. You get out of here on the road against a team in a higher classification with a win. You gotta like that. And they played an incredibly well coached and good team that is probably top contender in 2A to win 2A in EPC last week. They were coming off a 2-point loss, I believe, to them. So Walnut Ridge, as you mentioned, just going to try and get it down here to the half.
Yeah, and we got just a little over a minute to go in the half. It's 4th and 3. I think you're probably going to see something, pretty generic right here, but go to the strength of your offense and try to get a first down.
That's Jace Blake on the carry, and it's going to be close, but I believe he got the first down.
Yeah,
Randy.
I think Braden Croney got the first down right there, and now you're going to see. Right now as a head coach, you're sitting there going, do we just let the clock run, take the score that we got? Do you let your backups just keep playing football and try to score here in the first half? It'll be interesting to see what Coach Blake does here. It has been impressive how efficient and sound, the Walnut Ridge Bobcat offense has been tonight.
Yeah.
Even with the second string guys.
There's a flag that's going to stop play. Randy, I want to make mention as we close in on the halftime break, Isaiah Carrillo, Devin Smithson, and Cade Hayes will be our halftime guests. I came down to Trumann this week and interviewed those three guys. Did a good job in their interview and talked a little bit about the season and having a new coach in their senior year. And Isaiah Carrillo, I'll tell you what, I was really impressed by him in the way he spoke. He seemed like a coach almost. There's a run up the gut and a flag on the play.
Yeah, we could get to that point of the game where there's a few different yellow hankies thrown, but you just hope that the rest of the half the second half is played clean, after the whistle. And because you don't want things to linger over into next week.
All right, so that is a penalty that will go against the Walnut Ridge Bobcats. It's going to back them up 5 seconds down to 4, and the clock is going to run out. Walnut Ridge has decided they will go to the halftime break with this 35-0 lead. Again, want to remind you, our halftime guest Three of seniors from the Trumann Wildcats, again, in Isaiah Carrillo, Devin Smithson, and Cade Hayes. So please stay tuned to watch that. About a 10 to 12-minute interview with those guys, and there'll be a few commercials from our sponsors. We'll be back for second half action here in Trumann on the NEA Sports Network.
Now, the Coaches Show on NEA Sports Network.
Here live. All right, we are here live for the Ritter Communications halftime show. Have Isaiah Carrillo, Devin Smithson, and Cade Hayes here for the Trumann Wildcats. Guys, halftime of this ball game, so just kind of bear that in mind as we film this. But Isaiah, I'm going to start with you. Trumann in the past, and no different even with a new coach, typically a run-heavy style of team.
Yes, sir.
Talk to me a little bit about playing the fullback position and your role in terms of this running game.
My role, I really I'm kind of like a blocking fullback. I run the ball hardly, usually on third or fourth down, trying to get little yards, just trying to power my way through.
Okay. Talk to me a little bit about, has Coach decided specifically on one guy running back, or is he still running some multiple players?
We got 3 or 4 backs. We have a couple out right now due to injuries and other things, so we're just trying to work a couple kids through.
As far as that goes, oftentimes fullbacks, that last guy setting that block for a running back, and sometimes it's a big block that makes or breaks up for a big play. Talk about, working with those guys and maybe having a little bit of chemistry with them.
Yes, sir. We try to make sure our running backs and our fullbacks have a good chemistry. If they kick out, we want to make sure our running backs cutting up, or if they log them or block them down, they need to be running outside of them.
Okay. Devin, we'll come to you now. Offensive line and defensive line playing on both sides of the ball. We're talking offense first. Talk to me a little bit about specifically what position you play on the offensive line.
I play right guard.
Talk to me a little bit about playing right guard. What does that look like?
Well, as a right guard, we pull a bunch both ways. We pull left and right. We can trap, we can wrap, we can go out wide. It's just very easy to play.
And sometimes you play on that offensive line, and a basic football fan doesn't really pay a lot of attention or even understand the importance of offensive linemen. Y'all do a lot of the dirty work and don't get a lot of credit for it. But talk to me just a little bit about what that's like and being the guy that's in the trenches, really making a difference in a football game.
Yeah, well,
is it tough?
I mean, you get headaches every now and then. All day long, get a headache. Go home with a headache. You're gonna be hitting somebody every time.
How much work goes into? Everybody wants players to be strong, but how much time do you spend? Have you and your teammates on the line spend in the weight room?
Man, we work out every Monday and Thursday. Thursday Mondays we work out, run, and Thursdays we work out and go hit.
What is compare that to off season? Do y'all do more of that in the off season? I was saying. Okay. All right. Cade, offensive linebacker, tight end. You think a tight end, obviously you're going to do a lot of blocking, but you get to be fancy every once in a while and try to make some plays, make some catches and that sort of thing. Are we going to see any of that out of you possibly here against Walnut Ridge?
Here and there. We're going to try to switch some things up or something. We'll see how it goes.
Okay. Maybe run some play action, possibly get a pass thrown to you that way?
Possibly, yes, sir.
Okay, all right. And then I'm going to stick with you and kind of work my way back. Both of y'all play both sides of the ball. So talk to me a little bit about what's your preference, offense or defense, and why?
I go with defense. I like the adrenaline rush, and I like being able to, kind of set the tone with being able to hit somebody, and I like playing defense.
Now for Walnut Ridge, they've said they're going to pass more, but they're still a run first team.
Right.
As far we're a couple days in as far as practice goes and prepping for them, what's the coach kind of talked to the defense about? What y'all need to focus on to beat them?
Definitely that run heavy, about to run first and then get ready for pass.
Okay. All right, Devin, coming to you, offense or defense? What's your preference?
Probably offense.
Okay. Why is that?
I've just been playing it longer. I know what I'm doing and how to do it better.
Prefer to run block or pass block?
Probably pass block.
Okay. Okay. Why is that?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's an off play, but it's more of a relaxing, just chill and set your pass.
Okay.
Block it out.
Unless you let your quarterback get sacked,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Other than that.
All right, and Isaiah, coming back to you, preference, offense, defense?
I'm more of a defensive guy.
Okay. All right. Talk to me about that.
Well, on defense, I kind of call all our formations, all our plays, which is we got something new coming. We have a new setup for our linebackers and our D-line. We're more focused on the run heavy against Walnut Ridge. So.
Okay. And then kind of your take from what you've learned this week as far as prepping for Walnut Ridge.
Yes, sir. We got a new linebacker set up. We're bringing in a linebacker into the box. So we will have a 3 linebacker set up with 3 down linemen. So kind of more of like a 3-3 look with 2 outside linebackers.
Okay. What will that look like for both of my 2 linebackers sitting here? You talking about that different setup and that sort of thing. What might you do different this week versus in the past?
Well, in the past, we've really been working downhill, but now we're trying to work more to the sidelines, trying to stretch it out, trying to make the sideline make some plays for us. Because they run a lot of stretch. And that's
okay. We want to focus now a little bit on you guys. All 3 are seniors. Are you all played all 3 years?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So finished 3-7 last year. Obviously, y'all want to improve upon that. Isaiah, I'll start with you. Talk about just being a senior and trying to improve on that record, do better in the conference, and make a playoff.
Yes, sir. Well, about my sophomore year, we had a good senior class. They showed us what it's like to be seniors. So, and last year, I mean, it was kind of a struggle, went 3-7. So we're just trying to build off that and trying to be better.
Okay, Devin, for you again, you're a senior. And one thing Coach talked about, I remember at Media Day, was it is a fairly good-sized senior class. So he's got you 3 in here for a reason. He probably feels like y'all are guys that he looks to that can lead. Talk to me about maybe being a leader on that offensive and defensive line.
Well, on the offensive line, I got to make sure, something you can do, let a guy get by or let a sack happen. You just can't put your hand down. You just got to go to the next play.
Okay, what about defensively?
Defensively, if somebody misses a tackle or, misses the same thing, keep your head up.
Okay. All right. Cade, same scenario, senior on this team. How important is it for you to turn this around and have a winning season this year?
Yeah, it's definitely different with a new head coach coming in, but he's done the right thing. He's working to turn this thing around. He cares for us, and we've got to face some adversity, and I think we're up for it. I think we'll be fine. I think if we keep our heads up and stay level, I think we'll be fine.
And I'm glad you brought that up, and I'll let you continue on it for just a minute. But you do have a new head coach in your senior year. Some might look at that, man, that's kind of a challenge and that sort of thing. You mentioned he cares for you. I got to catch a little bit of practice today, just kind of listening to him. It sounds like, aside from on the field, he really tries to hold y'all accountable off the field as well.
Yeah, yes, sir. He's had this big old thing with us this year, eliminating the 0, and that's from anywhere on the field to off the field. So he's going to hold us accountable, and we're going to do the same as teammates and look at him, the coaches, the same way. So.
Okay. Either one of you guys want to branch off of that and talk about that just a minute? New coach, new setup a little bit?
Yes, sir. We got, a whole new system. We had to put our lockers the same way every single day. We try to come in with discipline and accountability, really, to hold everybody else accountable in there, make sure everybody has their stuff hanged up right, and just trying to make sure everything's right.
I would say that probably will amount to something not just right now, but maybe later on in life too, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Good luck to y'all against Walnut Ridge, and appreciate all 3 of you and your time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, Northeast Arkansas, Central Dealerships is not one to brag, but actually, we are. We're at the top of our game, bringing NEA incredible selection and exceptional service. To back that, Central was awarded, yet again, General Motors Mark of Excellence. From Chevy to Toyota, Nissan to Ford, we have the perfect ride waiting for you and the best service to get it to you. So find your next vehicle at a Central dealership today or shop us online.
No matter what the job calls for, contractors can count on Barton's. With your own dedicated sales representative, you'll get personalized support and accurate material takeoffs to keep your project on budget. Need flexible financing? We offer in-house accounts and financing options. Plus, take advantage of our product holding, on-site delivery, and professional installation of flooring, cabinets, and vanities. Supplying local contractors for 140 years. Visit us online at bartons.com. Build it better with Barton's.
Since 1945, we've been more than just a bank. We've been deeply rooted in communities across Arkansas, growing alongside the families and businesses we serve. We started the Farmers and Merchants Bank in Stuttgart, Arkansas 80 years ago to ensure working folks could borrow money to run their farms, fund their businesses, and build their families' futures. Today, Farmers and Merchants Bank is proud to continue supporting our communities, including our students and athletes. Farmers and Merchants Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
For 140 years, homeowners and DIYers have trusted Barton's for their home improvement needs. From small projects to remodels to building a home, our experts are here with the tools, knowledge, and advice to make your project a success. With 10 100% employee-owned locations across Northeast Arkansas and Southeast Missouri, delivery, installation, and free design services, Barton's is your trusted partner for every project. Visit us online at bartons.com. Build it better with Barton's.
At Glen Sain, we spent over 70 years trying to do things the right way, with honesty, heart, and hometown pride. With 4 locations across Paragould, Rector, and Kennett, we offer a wide selection of GMC, Chevy, Buick, and Ford vehicles, and service centers to keep them running strong. We're a family-owned business, and we treat every customer like one of our own, because after 70 years, that's what matters most. At Glen Sain, we know extra time is hard to come by. Your hands are full, your days are packed, and time doesn't slow down. We work hard when you have a service issue. With full service centers at each of our 4 locations, we will always do our best to make it convenient for you and your busy lifestyle. Thank you for trusting our family with your family for over 70 years.
A Ritter Go-Getter gets everything done, and Ritter Gig Internet can handle a ton. You'll create art for the whole world to see, find new ways to support all your teams, and arrange new arrangements for arranging your screens. You'll game, you'll stream, you'll bike till you can't, create filtered water for you and your plants, or watch video instructions for hemming your pants. With Ritter Internet, look at all you'll accomplish, connect all your devices, and, schmabomplish? With Wi-Fi this fast, there can be none better, so get in touch and be a Ritter Go-Getter.
Milligan Heating and AC works to serve the Northeast Arkansas community in meeting all of your HVAC needs. Give Justin Milligan a call at 870-243-2820.
Be sure to watch the NEA Sports Network as we bring you live coverage this football season. From week 0 to the playoffs, we bring you rivalries and great matchups to go along with championship coverage. Be sure to watch each game at the NEA Sports Facebook page or the NEA Sports YouTube page. NEA Sports, putting Northeast Arkansas student athletes first.
Local basketball star Austin Reeves is part of the Central Dealerships team. And just like Austin, we want you to join our team as well. So score big with your new or used vehicle from Central today. Central Dealerships is not one to brag, but actually we are. Central was awarded, yet again, General Motors Mark of Excellence. We have the perfect ride waiting for you and exceptional service. So find your next vehicle at a Central dealership today.
Prestige Plumbing offers a wide range of residential and commercial services to meet every customer's needs. Whether it be new construction or a remodel, Prestige Plumbing is fast and efficient with the best quality service for their customers. From water leaks to slab leaks to new sewer lines or handicap showers, Prestige Plumbing should be your first call for all your plumbing needs. Prestige Plumbing offers a wide range of residential and commercial services to meet every customer's needs. Whether it be new construction or a remodel, Prestige Plumbing is fast and efficient with the best quality service for their customers. From water leaks to slab leaks to new sewer lines or handicap showers, Prestige Plumbing should be your first call for all your plumbing needs.
Well, welcome everyone back to Trumann, Arkansas, where the Walnut Ridge Bobcats, Randy, have come in and they've really just controlled this entire football game, leading it 35-0 at the half. And several players for the Bobcats have had big games, but the guy I immediately think of is Jace Blake and the performance he's put on tonight.
Yeah, and Jace Blake in the first half has 8 carries for 103 yards and 3 touchdowns, and then you add the punt return touchdown on top of that. I'd be surprised if we see Jace again tonight, but, let's be honest, Truman, got the ball early. Good field position off a great kickoff return, had a penalty. It just seemed like every time they got a positive play, there was a flag against them and just cut any kind of momentum they could build, off. And, let's be honest, Walnut Ridge has gotten the ball several times today with short field and capitalized on it, and they've executed really well. but Truman, when you're missing the players that they're missing tonight, you're going to have to play perfect, and they haven't done that. They've had several penalties, and I'll repeat what I said. Excuse me, in the first half. I think it's going to be a really good week of football practice at Truman because he's going to get those guys back. He's going to have a lot of film. Coach Snyder, I'm saying, going to have a lot of film to look at on things that they did not do well this game, and it's going to be a good week of football practice for the Truman Wildcats.
So, looking at some scores around the area, you've had the Valley View score or game up on your phone. We've watched a little bit of the Jonesboro coverage. I'm keeping an eye on Hoxie and Westside. Valley View down 34-7 at Searcy. Certainly something that the Blazers have not been used to in several years, so they're struggling tonight.
Yeah, Searcy, was fairly young last year. You got all those guys back, and then you got a sophomore quarterback that is very good, and they're they're looking really good.
Jonesboro trailing is at halftime right now, 21-14 on the road in Little Rock against Joe T. Robinson, a good football team there. So Jonesboro hanging with one of the better teams, right?
And that's kind of been Jonesboro's MO over the last couple seasons. Play well for a large part of the game, and then just don't close it out.
All right, here's a kick, and it's going to be returned past the 40-yard line and out of bounds at around the 43. And Truman will have good starting field position. Also, the Hoxie Mustangs hosting the Westside Warriors. They lead 14-zip with 6:38 to go in the third quarter in that game. So Westside just trying to find a way to score, and I felt like that game could be a pretty decent football game tonight. Hoxie is a team, both teams actually trying to improve upon down seasons, and certainly for Hoxie standards, and a team that I really would like to peg as a sleeper pick in that conference, because I just can't envision a Tom Sears-led football team being down for very long.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
And that, of course, is the arch rival and nemesis here of the current team we're watching on the field in the Walnut Ridge Bobcats. We'll be there. Hey, we'll be there for that last game of the season. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that's going to be nice. And right there, Trevor Eccles with the 2-yard carry. And, Truman just needs to build positive play after positive play and get something going here in the second half to build upon moving into the week of practice.
Yeah, and so, Randy, you've coached for many, many, many years, and, if you've had a scenario where you went into the half down big, I mean, what do you go in there and say to some of these guys? And look at this run. That was probably the best run we've seen all night by the Wildcats. And I don't think we've called his name tonight.
Yeah,
that was
Trevor Eccles.
Oh, it was
there.
Eccles.
Yeah.
We've called his name.
Eccles,
My bad.
Yeah, and he's look, in the first half he had 4 carries, and tonight in second half he's got 13 yards off 2 carries. And look, Coach Snyder's gone back to what he believes in.
Right.
He's running between the tackles. And you got to like what the response to this Truman Wildcat team is to what Coach Snyder was preaching at halftime.
All right. Going to go with another handoff to Eccles. Eccles this time is stuck at the line of scrimmage, and a good job by the Walnut Ridge Bobcats. One of those guys on that tackle was Aiden Jones.
Yeah, and the other one was a guy that we've called several times tonight, and that's Carter Morse. Carter Morse we've seen tonight on offense. He at halftime he had 7 carries for 65 yards and a touchdown, and obviously we can see defensively he's one of the stalwarts for this Bobcat team. He made a great play in the hole right there and stuffed Trevor Eccles for no gain.
Hope everybody enjoyed the halftime interviews with 3 of those Truman Wildcats. I certainly enjoyed interviewing them. So now, not out of the eye, they go with a handoff and evades one tackler. He's pulled forward for a gain of about 4.
And that's Cooper Hatley on the carry, and it's sophomore. You know, and here's what you've got to love from Coach Snyder. One, your offensive line has come out in the second half and against Walnut Ridge's starters and controlled the line of scrimmage so far. You've got young players that are making positive gains, and you're getting back to what you believe in. And, you know, he mentioned in his interview with you this week that they want to stay the course no matter what, and right now they're getting back on course with what they believe in.
So you got a 3rd down and around a 7-yard situation. They go handoff back to Hatley. Hatley will get and be shoved out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. So they get they get a gain, but there is also a flag on the play.
Well, if you're Truman, you're getting positive yards on these plays. It looks like a 2-yard gain. I don't know if that was a late hit out of bounds. Looks like it's going to go against the Bobcats. I don't know what the penalty is right here.
So, and you know, you mentioned you've got some guys playing that ordinarily maybe wouldn't play, but because of the situation Truman's in, and you look at a Hatley who is a sophomore playing on this team. You know, a guy that we were looking forward to watch tonight was Arzell Rolford, and unfortunately he's not in there. But you get a guy like Hatley, and I look at him, he's got decent speed. Yep. Now, the one thing, you know, and you know that as well as I do, a sophomore that moves up from junior high, there's a big difference between those two, and just he's going to be so much stronger a year or two from now than what he is right now. I mean, he's you know, he's going to work that upper body a little bit more, and some of these bigger juniors and seniors on Walnut Ridge have worked him around a little bit.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, you're going to improve size and strength every year, and I know Coach Snyder believes in the weight room, and he's going to get those guys in it. Right now, you know, Cooper Hatley's only had, you know, one off season with Coach Snyder.
Young, so, just a one of these young, and I'm using him as just an example of one of these young guys out there that. Which is good for them and cool for them that they're getting a taste of this early in their career. And you know, it may be something that they look back on and think, man, I got a taste of it now. I really want to get out there and get to start and play every Friday night.
And I'll tell you what, you know my love affair with Friday nights. And, you know, there's nothing like the Friday Night Lights. And you've got – you know, you got a guy that's coming in here and hasn't had that experience before. It can only be positive for you, if not for, you know, football down the line.
Right.
You know, just for the fact that you're out here in front of all these fans, it's a great experience to have as a young man.
Willie Spain just checked in for the Bobcats. Good size looking kid. He is actually a sophomore for them. And it's 3rd down and 12 yards for Truman. They go with a pitch play. Trying to get around the edge is Eccles. Eccles stiff arms one player. He will be plowed out of bounds, but a good positive run for the Wildcats, and that will set up a much more manageable scenario on 4th down.
Yeah, nice 5-yard gain there by Trevor Eccles, and now you've got a 3rd and long 7. Or a 4th and a long 7, and you've got the chance to let Drake Harlow do some things, maybe get him out on the edge and give him an option where he can run or throw, and try to convert this 1st down and get some points on the board for Truman. I look to see them boot right here and get him out on the edge.
4 minutes and 25 seconds to play here in the 3rd. Looking for a pass, going deep to the end zone. He's open, and it is no good. That is incomplete. That's kind of a jump ball thrown up in the air by Harlow, and that will be a turnover on downs. I don't blame him for taking the shot to try to get some points on the board right there.
And it really, you know, is a nice throw.
It was.
From under center. He takes a 3-step drop, throws it to the sideline, lets the receiver fade to it. You know, again, number 7 there, Landon Adams, he's a junior. that's going to be one of those plays that he can build off of
Right.
in the future, where he knows that he can control those feet inbounds, and fall out of bounds and catch that ball for the touchdown.
Well, and I watched him a little bit after that play. He was frustrated in himself because he wanted to make that catch, and probably given another opportunity, probably would haul that catch in.
No doubt.
All right, so run for the Bobcats here on 1st down and 10, and didn't have much place to go.
And that's Braden Croney that we saw right there at the end of the first half, a little 1-yard gain right here. I think you're going to see a lot of stuff just between the tackles. We're already at 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, so that clock's, rapidly moving. And, look to see Walnut Ridge get these guys some good experience and get out of here with a nice win tonight.
So it is 3rd down and long. Go with that little bit of misdirection that they've been running for Callahan that time was Kadam Ray. He's a junior on this team.
And just great penetration there by Maverick Atkins, number 51 for the Trumann Wildcats, which Coach Snyder mentioned in his pregame interview of somebody that was going to have to step up on the defensive line. Right there, he makes great penetration. Gets a stop in the backfield. So it's good to see those guys making plays defensively. And, it's a big 3rd down and long right here.
Going to pass this time. And they got a wide open man, but he overthrew him. Man, oh, man, that was and they've ran. That's the first deep ball we've seen tonight, Coach.
Yeah, and that's another one of those things to experience. You get a guy running wide open in a place where I don't know if Braden Croney's made a throw like that before, but everything goes a little faster. The pressure that's coming at you seems a lot closer than it is. You rush that pass just a little bit. That experience is going to help him down the line. He's going to be able to sit in there calmly, make a nice throw for a completion.
Want to thank a number of people for it. Was a low snap, and he gets the punt off quick enough. It'll go out of bounds, and they'll mark it at the 41. But a lot of people for tuning in tonight. Several folks from out of state, and
yeah, I heard you mention a couple from Arizona watching their grandkids.
Yeah, that's cool, and
that is very cool.
I want to make mention Brittany Rogers watching her. Got a sophomore out here playing for Walnut Ridge tonight, so.
Well, that's the great thing about streaming all these games now. People are getting to stay connected with family and friends and watch their kids play, and I think it's a lot of fun, and it's a great deal that you provide everybody.
So we are winding down to the final 20 seconds of this quarter as Trumann has the football back. Looks like they may just run one play right here and be done. Going to go handoff. And a big burst of a run. It looks like Eccles on the carry, and it'll be a 1st down, and that will end the third quarter. We will go ahead and take a commercial break and be back here in a moment on the NEA Sports Network. what's her face. But okay, we are back in Trumann, and still the little bit of a timeout going on right here as we swap over to the final quarter of action. Should go fairly quick as the turbo clock is intact. Bobcats led at 35-0 to start the half. Trumann went on a good little run there, but came up just short of scoring a touchdown. And now it is the Wildcats have the football back here, a 1st and 10, and they have the ball in Bobcat territory. It is the 49-yard line. Pass, quick catch down the sidelines, and out of bounds is Landon Adams.
Yeah, and you like to see that.
Yep.
It's going to get a little confidence for Drake Harlow and Landon Adams. You know, Landon, after that long touchdown that, was caught out of bounds, he comes back with a positive gain on the little hitch screen. And now, Trumann, again, is working with some positivity. They're getting some first downs. And let's see if they can keep this drive alive.
11 minutes and 20 seconds to go here in the fourth. Lining up back in that same formation. And there's a flag on the play, and that may be a false start penalty. No, it's offsides, actually, against the Bobcats.
Yeah, they got the defensive tackle to lean a little bit forward in his stance right there with the cadence, but it just took them a while to call it.
It did. We've got a delay on our feed that I watch, and I was able to catch that, and it did take a second or two.
Now you got 1st and 5. It's a chance for, the playbook is wide open in this situation. You can be aggressive right here if you want to.
They're going to run. That's Hatley again, and he's out of bounds on the short side of the field. Didn't have a lot of room to go.
And that's what I was talking about earlier. You got Cooper Hatley right there who has got his lead blocker, has got inside leverage on the defensive player, and a lot of young guys typically try to outrun everything to the sideline. Well, in that situation, your lead blocker is blocking the guy to the sideline, and you're trying to outrun him.
Right.
Where the penetration by the defense is going to cause you to you need to just put your foot in the ground and get up the field. If you make one man miss, you got positive gains. That's a better job right there by Cooper of seeing his lead blocker have leverage inside. Now he's got people coming from the inside, but you still get upfield, you get positive yards.
Now he, as many running backs do sometimes, he took a lick right there. There was a couple that came in and speared him.
You don't feel that. You might feel it tomorrow morning, but you don't feel it tonight.
He's going to go right back out there again, maybe. He
is rushing through your veins, and
he'll be all right, Coach?
He'll be fine. He's loving it.
3rd down and 4 yards. And they've jumped again, and it'll be there was 2 of those guys right there. Was that caused by Trumann, or are they going to mark? Nope, that'll go against the Bobcats, a 5-yard penalty, and that results in a 1st down.
And he got Maverick Atkins and Ashton Irwin right there to jump, and, just a little antsy. They know that it's 3rd down and short. They're trying to get good penetration in the backfield to get Trumann off the field. Just a little bit antsy, and Trumann gets 1st down.
Well, and Jeff Blake's not done coaching either, and he's pulling one of those guys out right now and probably going to get an earful, but that's now twice on a 3rd or a 4th and short situation where they've jumped and not allowed that play to even take place, and as a result in 1st down. You want to clean that up before you get into conference play. We got a pass play here. Harlow going deep. He airs it up into triple coverage. Is it? There's a flag on the play, and they're going to get him for pass interference, I believe.
Well, we got 2 flags on the play. It looks like pass interference downfield,
maybe a hold.
And maybe a hold in the backfield.
So it's going to offset.
One thing I did want to say, though, there's nothing better as a coach that when you're winning a game that there's, and you know your guys are feeling really good about how the game's going, but there's stuff that's happening throughout the game that you can work on during the week and you can harp on when you're watching film. And Coach Blake's getting some of that tonight, and I just think it's going to be a good week of practice for Truman. I know, because they've got a lot of positive stuff going on right here.
Okay.
Oh, they got roughing the passer. So, okay.
So they declined the pass interference penalty. Now, in a professional scenario, you would take the pass interference because they'd put you at the 1, but they don't do that in high school.
A personal foul is going to be the most yards you get out of any play. So you get 15 yards right there. You're outside the 20, so you're getting the full 15 and not half the distance. So, you got to take that. So now they got 1st and 10 at the 17.
Harlow, he with a little play action. I don't see anybody, and he's just going to kind of throw it away. That was well covered by the Bobcats.
Yeah, and that, really just coaching-wise, Drake Harlow does a good job of putting that ball toward the pylon where only, Cade Hayes right there has a chance at it. And, if he doesn't make a great catch, then it's out of bounds. You're going 2nd down. Yeah. And, again, you come off a penalty. Walnut Ridge is probably mad at themselves. They're probably frustrated a little bit. That's a great time to get aggressive with your play calling.
Okay, so now we set 5:55 to go. For now 2nd down 10. They go with a pitch play this time to Hatley. Hatley tries to cut back, and that's going to he breaks a tackler. He's going to still be pushed down for a big loss. Tried to get into that far side of the field where there was some running room, but the Bobcats, once again, that they've done so well tonight, they sniffed it out and stopped that run play.
Yeah, without a doubt. And, just great pursuit by the Bobcat defense. Cooper Hatley tries to outrun him to the sideline. The pursuit by the Bobcat defense keeps him from gaining any ground right there. And, one thing you try to teach running backs is small creases make big plays. So instead of looking for the big hole, you want to look for a small crease. So you hit that crease, and there's usually something open on the back side of it.
Got another pass play. Harlow looks to fire. He had a man, but it's a pass that goes incomplete. Would have been a tough play for Adams to make that catch. Of course, in defense of Harlow, he was running for his life.
Yeah, he was, and he's a right-handed quarterback running left right there. But Adams does a good job of what was a deep route. He breaks it off and comes back to it. Really Harlow puts it at a good place on the sideline, or you got to make a tough catch. But that's something you can build off of too. Now you got a big 4th and 16. You got a chance to make a 1st down, but you're probably going to take a shot at the end zone right here.
I would agree. And I believe they've jumped again. So that'll move them a little bit closer to that 1st down marker and the goal line. Make it 4th instead of 4th and 17. It'll be 4th and 12. So you're looking to get in 12 yards for the 1st down. And what is it, another 2 or 3 it's going to take to score. So here we go. Same formation.
Let's see if the offensive line can give Drake Harlow time to get a ball off right here and get a shot at the end zone.
He throws it up, and it is caught for a touchdown. How about that? A nice pass to Landon Adams. This time he hauls it in, and the Wildcats are on the board.
Yeah, just a great throw and catch, and, the frustration you had earlier from the ball caught out of bounds. This time it's just flawless execution. Great throw by Harlow. Good concentration with good coverage by Landon Adams, and he makes the catch for the
touchdown. Randy, that was double covered right there, and that was a really good pass thrown in the perfect spot, and Adams, great concentration to make the catch. You couldn't ask for anything better out of those two guys.
Very nice by both those guys.
They will look to go for 2 right here. And Harlow is in trouble, and he is not going to get in. So 35-6 with 2:40 to play here in the final quarter. We'll take a break and be back here in just a moment.
Prestige Plumbing offers a wide range of residential and commercial services to meet every customer's needs. Whether it be new construction or a remodel, Prestige Plumbing is fast and efficient with the best quality service for their customers. From water leaks to slab leaks to new sewer lines or handicap showers, Prestige Plumbing should be your first call for all your plumbing needs.
At Glensane, we know extra time is hard to come by. Your hands are full, your days are packed, and time doesn't slow down. We work hard when you have a service issue. With full service centers at each of our 4 locations, we will always do our best to make it convenient for you and your busy lifestyle. Thank you for trusting our family with your family for over 70 years.
A Ritter Go-Getter gets everything done.
Back here in Trumann, I have a quick kick. We've picked up and returned to the 40-yard line, and that was Callahan on the return. So, Randy, we're down to the final minute and 10 seconds. That clock is going to run on down, and we're probably, barring something crazy right here, got a final score of 35-6, and Walnut Ridge comes in with a very nice non-conference victory.
Yeah, very nice non-conference victory. Flawless in the first half. Jace Blake showed what kind of player he is. They didn't hurt themselves. Trumann put themselves in bad position a few times where they got positive plays and hurt themselves with the penalty. Walnut Ridge didn't do that. It looks like one more play, and they're going to get out of here with a big win.
And he's dropped in the backfield.
Yeah, and that's, great blitz right there by Trumann. Get the guy in the backfield. Number 15 that we haven't seen all night, Eli Anderson, a 10th grader, gets the carry for a 2-yard loss, but it looks like we're going to end this game with a 35-6 Walnut Ridge win.
Yep, down to the final 2-1, and that is it. So as you mentioned, final score here in Trumann, Walnut Ridge 35 and Trumann 6. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight. We will not be on the air. We got about a 2-week break that we're going to take, Randy, and week 3, typically, there's not a lot of action there. Everybody likes to take that week off, but we won't have week 2 action. We will return week 4, first non-conference game of the year, and we actually it'll be the 5A East and back-to-back games for Valley View. And as we mentioned tonight, they have got to figure some things out between now and then for that first conference matchup when they'll go to Paragould.
Yeah, I haven't seen the most recent score, but let's be honest. Right now Valley View is the team to beat in that conference.
No doubt.
Paragould, they went 3-0 in non-conference last year, so they're making strides in the right direction. I know Coach Phillips feels a lot better about his team this year, but and there's still some questions with Valley View at quarterback. So we'll see what Valley View does with West Memphis next week, and how Paragould finishes out their non-conference, and looking forward to get back into the 5A East and see that game here in a couple weeks.
Well, I want to thank the Trumann administration for allowing us to come in and broadcast tonight's game. This is, as of now, our only trip to Trumann this year, and our only game we'll have of theirs, so I want to wish them the best of luck. We will have another Walnut Ridge game. It'll be our last game of the season on November 7th when they play Hoxie, as that is one of the best rivalries in all of Northeast Arkansas. So wish both of them the best of the luck moving forward the rest of the year. Want to, again, next time we'll be on the air is at the end of the month of September. As we travel to Paragould, it'll be Valley View against the Rams at Paragould. So, for our crew. For Randy Coleman, I'm Ryan Fletcher saying so long, everybody.
Join us on the NEA Sports Facebook and YouTube pages this Friday night in Trumann as the Walnut Ridge Bobcats travel to Poinsett County to take on the Wildcats of Trumann. With pregame coverage starting at 6:35 with our coaches show and kickoff at